The morning sun painted golden hues over the village, awakening life and gentle sounds of birds and rustling leaves. Buddha sat under the ancient Bodhi tree, his serene gaze fixed upon the horizon where earth met sky. A potter approached him, hands streaked with clay, eyes clouded with uncertainty. "Master," said the potter, bowing deeply, his voice trembling with hesitation and weariness from toil. "I come seeking clarity amidst chaos." The Buddha's smile was tender and understanding, as calm as the surface of still water at dusk. A man enters, desperate to drink, but drinks only the reflection instead of the water, he explained softly. I listened intently, my own reflection rippling faintly in the ponds of my memories and discontent. Buddha gestured to the potter to join him, pointing to a patch of soft grass beneath the shade of the tree. The potter hesitated, then seated himself, cross-legged, his shoulders slumping under unseen weight of restless thoughts. "I feel trapped," he continued, his words stumbling into whispers. Buddha watched him with patience that seemed timeless, speaking with wisdom that carried both weight and air. "Do you hear the sound of the turning wheel as you work?" he asked. The potter frowned deeply, as though searching in his memory for moments he had overlooked. "No, master, I hear nothing but the noise of my mind," he admitted regretfully. Buddha leaned forward slightly, drawing circles with his finger in the dust. "Begin there," he said, his tone suggestive of discovery and curiosity. "Listen to the wheel, feel its rhythm, the soft creaks, the interplay of silence between each turn. Your accomplishments have encased your spirit, disconnected it from the infinite yet hidden unity surrounding it," he continued, the weight of his words pressed against my chest like a heavy, unseen hand driving out shallow truths. "Will listening alone guide me to peace?" Buddha reached for a fallen leaf nearby, studying its vibrant veins before speaking again. "Focus is born from awareness, and awareness starts where you choose to linger," he replied. The potter followed Buddha's gesture, staring at the leaf now cradled in Buddha's hand, the details calling for his attention. "The leaf bears its story in veins, just as clay holds its own story under your touch," Buddha said softly. The potter stretched his fingers instinctively, as though recalling the sensations of clay against his palms. "Rough yet pliable, but my thoughts wander too far, losing themselves in places where clarity feels unreachable," the potter lamented. Buddha set the leaf down gently, letting the breeze carry it away, an unspoken lesson in release. "Do not wrestle with wandering thoughts," he advised. "Observe them without attachment, letting them flow like water around stone. Look deeply within. Ask not what the world owes your success but what stillness owes your understanding," he added. My breathing slowed, thoughts cascading with less ferocity, replaced by a budding calm still foreign to me. Buddha's reply came measured yet profound, his voice carrying wisdom like a clear stream weaving through rocks. "You will know when the wheel no longer spins faster than your mind, and work no longer feels like chaos." The potter rose slowly, bowing again, his head lowered as gratitude mixed with lingering uncertainty, heart and mind beginning their journey. "I will try, master," he said, his words bearing a note of commitment rooted in Buddha's guidance. I pondered this revelation, feeling the weight of possibility stir within what had seemed lifeless moments before. Each achievement, pursued without reflection, is but a single seed cast carelessly on rocks. "Know the soil first," he said. I found my voice again, trembling yet determined to ask the question circling my thoughts. "How do I nourish this soil, master, when my hands grow weary and my mind falters?" I inquired. Buddha's teachings echoed in each action, each breath, weaving presence into work as sunlight threads through morning mist. The potter smiled as he worked, grateful for the simplicity that redefined his craft and reshaped his spirit. Care for your inner soil by cultivating generosity, wisdom, and the joy of interconnectedness. These nourish far deeper than desires ever could, he revealed. I felt tears dampen my cheek. Not of sorrow but of an emotion far too vast to reduce to words. As the sun climbed higher, a merchant hurried past, his face tense with urgency and his mind clouded by distraction. "Master," the merchant called out, his voice strained as if carrying the weight of his countless tasks and responsibilities. The feeling of emptiness dissolves not when filled but when understood, cherished, and transformed, he finished gently. The sun had begun its descent, casting warm hues across the earth that now felt far softer beneath me. The merchant bowed briefly, his gestures hurried, his words rushing forward like water breaking through a dam. "I am consumed by my work," he admitted, his breath shallow. "Demands pull me in every direction, leaving no space for peace or clarity." Buddha gestured toward the shade of a tree nearby, inviting the merchant to pause, to rest his burdens for a moment. Reluctantly, the merchant followed, his steps hesitant, his mind reluctant to slow its racing pace. "Do you draw water each morning?" Buddha asked, his question simple yet layered with unseen wisdom, like a seed waiting to sprout. The merchant furrowed his brow, confused by the seeming detour from the matter at hand. "Yes, I do," he replied, his voice tinged with impatience. "And do you notice the moment when the bucket breaks the surface, spilling its water back into the well?" Buddha inquired. The merchant paused, his thoughts caught between reflection and resistance, the truth dawning like the first light of dawn. "No, Master," he admitted reluctantly. "My mind is always elsewhere, thinking of what lies ahead, planning, solving, anticipating." Buddha nodded, his expression neither judgmental nor indulgent, a mirror reflecting only what was offered. "The act of drawing water holds a lesson," he began, his tone steady, his words deliberate. The Buddha leaned forward, scooping up pebbles with his hand, scattering them into the water with deliberate precision. Each pebble creates ripples, distorting reflections and clouding clarity. Accomplishments birth desires, creating cycles that disturb inner stillness. The craftsman stared into the water, where ripples mirrored the restless turmoil he carried within his heart each day. The merchant shifted uneasily, his thoughts battling between acceptance and the pull of his ingrained habits of hurried action. "But Master," he began, his words faltering as though weighed down by their own uncertainty, "it is not striving itself but the attachment to its outcomes that feeds the chain of desires," he explained. He gazed deeply into the flowing current, his words resonating with clarity like sunlight piercing through dense forest canopy. "When desires cloud the mind, we lose sight of our true selves, our reflection distorted by ripples of yearning." The craftsman bent down beside him, his hands brushing the earth, his thoughts heavy with newfound understanding and sorrow. "Begin with the act of drawing water, and let that presence flow into all you do." The merchant nodded slowly, a seed of understanding taking root, though the soil of his mind remained rocky and uncertain. "I will try," he said, his words a cautious commitment, his gaze a mix of hope and hesitation. Buddha watched as the merchant rose, his movements less hurried, his steps less burdened, as though the weight of his tasks had eased slightly. In the days that followed, the merchant practiced as instructed, noticing the details he had long overlooked, the moments he had dismissed. The act of drawing water became a meditation, the sound of the rope a melody, the weight of the bucket a grounding anchor. His steps, though still swift, carried a newfound steadiness, his actions infused with clarity born from mindfulness. The demands of his trade remained, yet they no longer consumed him. Their edges softened by the presence he cultivated. Each transaction, each interaction, became an opportunity for practice, for presence, for peace within the motion of his life. The merchant smiled more often, his demeanor reflecting the transformation within. The balance he had long sought but never found. I have sought beyond myself, believing fulfillment lay in distant achievements. I see now how mistaken I have been. The Buddha reached for another pebble, holding it between his fingers before placing it gently back onto the earth. Understand this. Desire breeds suffering when we mistake its pursuit for purpose, ignoring the quiet truth already within us. Another day, another village, and Buddha walked along the riverbank where the gentle current mirrored the flow of life. The sound of the water accompanied the rustling leaves, a symphony of nature's calm embracing the movement of the day. A woman sat nearby, her hands busy weaving, her expression strained, the weight of endless tasks evident on her face. "Master," she called softly, noticing Buddha's serene presence, her voice filled with both respect and weariness. Buddha turned toward her, his gaze gentle as morning light breaking through the trees, his steps unhurried yet purposeful. "What troubles your heart?" Buddha asked, his voice carrying an invitation for her thoughts to unravel, like thread from a loom. "My work is endless," she began, her words halting as though woven with hesitation. "Day after day, I weave, and my spirit feels trapped in monotony." Buddha approached her, sitting on the soft earth beside her, his movements as fluid as the river that flowed behind him. "Do you see the colors of the threads as you weave?" he asked, his question simple yet opening a door to reflection. The woman paused, her hands resting on the fabric, her eyes searching for an answer she had overlooked in her daily grind. "No, Master," she admitted, her voice tinged with regret. "My thoughts are elsewhere, tangled in worries of what's done and what remains unfinished." Buddha gestured toward her loom, his eyes observing the intricate patterns forming under her hands. "Each thread tells a story," he said, his tone gentle, like water smoothing stones. "Notice its hue, its texture, its passage through your fingers." The woman touched the thread, her motions slower now, as though rediscovering something familiar yet newly significant. "Will noticing these details change the weight of my work?" she asked, her skepticism as light as a shadow cast by the afternoon sun. Buddha picked up a single thread from the ground, holding it up so the light illuminated its fine fibers. "Mindfulness may not change the weight," he replied, "but it will transform the weaver." Lightening the burden carried in her heart, the woman's gaze softened, her hands returning to the loom, this time with movements guided by awareness rather than habit. "How do I begin, Master?" she asked, her voice quieter now, as though the river had hushed to listen. "Begin by breathing," Buddha instructed, his words a soft ripple in the current of her thoughts. "Each breath a thread, weaving presence into your work." The woman inhaled deeply, her chest rising and falling in rhythm with the loom's gentle creaks, her body and mind aligning. "And what of my wandering thoughts?" she asked after a moment, her voice carrying both curiosity and uncertainty. "Let them wander," Buddha answered, his smile a reflection of the river's tranquil surface. "Watch them as you would clouds drifting through the sky." The woman nodded, her fingers moving across the loom with newfound grace, the fabric growing beneath her touch imbued with meaning. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues that mirrored her threads, her work felt lighter, her spirit freer. Buddha watched in silence, his presence a quiet encouragement, his teachings unfolding in the simple act of weaving. The woman's doubts began to dissipate, her heart embracing the rhythm of her work as both meditation and creation. Days turned into weeks, and the woman practiced as Buddha had guided, her weaving no longer a burden but a dance of presence. Each thread she touched carried the echoes of his words, the wisdom woven into her every action. The villagers began to notice the change, the calm that radiated from her, the beauty that seemed to flow effortlessly from her loom. Her work became sought after, not for its utility but for the peace it seemed to hold within its patterns, and though the tasks remained endless, her heart no longer carried their weight, for she had found freedom in the simplicity of awareness. Buddha's teachings lived on in her work, their essence woven into the fabric of her life, as enduring as the rivers flow. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.